Race will start. Sainz is away. Great start by Carlos Sainz, the pole sitter. Oh, who's coming out front? Verstappen. Sainz are swapping positions through turn 2 and 3. And Tsunoda in trouble. Tsunoda in trouble. Oh, man. Tsunoda down to last place. Starting yellow, double yellow on the track, yep. Verstappen. Hello, this John. Hope you're doing well. Yep. That was a clash between, I think, Yuki and someone in the midfield. Hello, everyone. Tsunoda, I think it's out of the race. Safety car is out. Albon, yeah, Albon. Albon's, well, I mean, Albon's not exactly had a great weekend, has he? But, well, he had a great qualifying, but thank you for the like. We're in the safety car conditions here at Mexico. Race has been neutralised. Verstappen is your race leader. Hamilton beat Russell off the line. Great start by the 7-time champion, who is Ferrari bound. Hulkenberg, great start, beating Gasly. Gasly up to 9th. Lawson up to 10th after all the shenanigans. Stroll and Alonso climbing up the order. Yeah, Tsunoda and Albon out. Don't know who's to blame. Perez only up to 13th. Oh dear. Got a Pinto. Terrible start by Piastri. Stuck down in 17th, taking it carefully, and of course, Ocon down in. Hello there, Wayne. Hope you're doing well. On this evening, of course, the hours, the clock has gone back here in Britain. Yeah, out. There's the race order. Of course, Albon and Tsunoda crashed on the first lap, bringing out the safety car. Both of them having a decent, I mean, Tsunoda crashed out qualifying, and he's also crashed out in a race. Albon's hard work after qualifying in 9th place has gone down the drain after a poor start. And Max Verstappen, what a start he's had. But as for championship contender Lando Norris, it's not a disaster, but it has to be said, he's got to take advantage of this safety car and the restart. He's got to get a toll on Sainz, and when the DRS comes out, he has got to get a run on Verstappen. Of course, we're now on lap 3, so we have got 71 laps, by the way. So, do I have Discord? No, I don't. Sorry. Red Bull have got decent race pace. You're absolutely correct. And all I can say is that Lando Norris has got to get a hammer down when that safety car withdraws, because otherwise he can wave goodbye to the championship today if he doesn't take advantage of the safety car, I think. Okay, I knew Norris would probably not get the lead off the start, but he's been given a lifeline. I kind of knew Norris would take it carefully, to be honest, because we all know what Norris is like. He's not exactly the most aggressive when it comes to race starts. So he's been given a huge lifeline or second chance, if you will. Thanks to, of course, Tsunoda and Albon hitting each other. And, well, all I'm going to say for Yuki Tsunoda is that it's races like these that could, well, very much consign him to being kicked out of F1 next year if he's not careful, because Aston Martin obviously are owned by the Stroll family, so there's no escape route there, despite Honda joining them for 2026. There's no entry route towards the Red Bull senior squad, and it does appear as if Liam Lawson is in pole position to replace Perez if they decide to kick out Checo. And, you know, with the likes of Hadjar and a few of the kids in the Red Bull Academy waiting in the wings, Yuki cannot afford to be having moments like that. Just so you know, most of the field is on medium tyres, but of course we've got Liam Lawson who's using hards, Perez on hards, Colapinto, Bottas, Zhou, and Ocon using hard tyres. So I don't think there's going to be that much tactical variation. Sainz is not fighting for the championship, mate, so it's not like Sainz is particularly is going to be that bothered if he loses today. But as for Norris, well, I know you're saying he's not a championship contender. I know what you mean when you say that, but what I mean is that if he wants to have, like, even the slightest smidgen of a chance of taking this championship to the last round, where, yes, I know it's inevitable Verstappen will win the championship, and I agree Max Verstappen deserves to win the championship, but for the sake of the entertainment and for the sake of the show, like, I would like to see Norris do a little bit of justice to himself before this season ends. Because as much as I've criticised him, I don't want this season to turn into, oh, look at how much of a bottle job Lando Norris is, because I do want to give him a little bit of praise for some of his performances, even if he is lacking consistency throughout the year. I'd like to see this go until Qatar. Yeah, me too, but Lando Norris has got to ace the restart. He has got to capitalise on the restart. And I mean, he's got to get a toe on Sainz ASAP and either get past him through the turn 1, 2, 3 corner complex, or overtake Sainz coming out of turn 6. Like, I really want to see Norris get into a wheel-to-wheel fight with Verstappen. And whilst, yes, Verstappen deserves to win the championship, I want to see Lando Norris show a bit of fight and a bit of determination and really prove some of his critics wrong and show that, yeah, he's going to lose the championship, but he's going to try his damn hardest to try and put up some fight despite his errors. Obviously, on the balance of the year, Verstappen has clearly been the superior driver, but I don't want to see Lando Norris end the season with a whimper. As for Carlos Sainz, well, he's going to be a bit disappointed with that race start, I'll tell you that. Apparently, Colapinto is staying with Plan A. Oh, yeah, Leclerc could have a run on Norris, yeah. I hope though, but look, I know Leclerc could get past Norris, but for me, at this point, Norris has got nothing to lose. Like, no one really expects Norris to win this championship at this point. Yeah, obviously, Leclerc could get a run on Norris, but frankly, Norris should just take the chance. Like, forget about what Leclerc's doing or what the two Mercedes are doing. Just go and try and launch it down the inside of Sainz. And if we can't get past through turns 1, 2, and 3, like, try and do it again through 4, 5, and 6. And if we can't do it, then just at least he had a go at it, because to be honest, I mean, Norris has come out and admitted he's not as good as Verstappen, and I think obviously it's his way of trying to relieve the pressure. I mean, look, we all know Zach Brown is a massive Norris fanboy, so that's not really going to happen. But I will say that I think whoever struggles next season at McLaren, I would kick one of them out and do a swap deal with Williams for Carlos Sainz because, dude, everyone at McLaren will regret this time in F1 if they fail to win a Drivers' Championship. And hell, as things are going, they might be on the cusp of losing the Constructors' title since, of course, Piastri is down in 17th, and of course Ferrari are the only team that have got both drivers firing on all cylinders at the moment. I mean, as it stands, Ferrari are on the verge of claiming 30 points with them. Oh, Perez given a penalty for a jump stall. Oh dear. 30 points for Ferrari. Only 15 points for McLaren, 25 points for Red Bull. So, yeah, I mean, McLaren are actually going to concede going to have 15 points taken out of them by Ferrari in this race if it stands like this. And, you know, I've criticised Norris, but Piastri's qualifying performance and his race start have been abysmal. Not good enough. Not good enough. It's now lap 6, sorry. So, yeah, hello to 54 people watching. I hope you're enjoying this stream. We are behind the safety car. It's taking quite a bit. Oh, safety car in this lap. Okay, I will tell you when we go back to green flag. Safety car will be withdrawing this lap, folks, and I will be telling you. Green flag coming out now. Verstappen is now the literal safety car. He will manage the gap between himself and Sainz, and then he will pick up the pace back onto the start finish straight. Lap 7, here we go. Let's see what Norris can do. Oh, Norris is nowhere near close to Sainz. He's got Leclerc all over the back of him. Looking a bit static here, I'm afraid. Norris, can Norris get back at Sainz though? No, it looks like everyone is staying in lane. I haven't seen any overtakes of any sort on the track map. Leclerc is all over the back of that Papaya McLaren. And Norris remains in third place. And, well, if you're watching here from Chatter HD's channel, welcome to Crystal Racing, where I will continuously remind you about how Kimi Räikkönen was the best driver in the world between 2003 and 2007. Leclerc going for third, absolutely. I will say, I wonder where Perez is going to come out if he has to serve a penalty as pit stop. Like, I mean, for Ferrari, like, they're definitely in the hunt for the Constructors' battle. And I will say, it has now been 16 years since the Constructors' title went down to the final race of the season, all the way back in 2008. Not seen any changes in the race order, and I have to say, around a track like here at Mexico, it's not exactly the easiest to get past people. Alonso has been told HPP on. Oh my God, what is going on with Esteban Ocon? That's +3 on the dash for brake bars. What the hell's going on with his Alpine this weekend? Did it go to the final race in 2021? I didn't. Oh, yeah, did it? Did it? I don't think it did, because I think Perez finished miles behind Bottas in the driver's standings, so I'm not sure about that. I mean, Mercedes won the Constructors in 2021 mostly because Bottas completely destroyed Perez in the driver's standings, to be honest. And my God, Norris. Yeah, Norris is not really making any impression again. And oh right, I didn't know. Well, if I am wrong, then I will hold my hands up and apologise. But oh dear, Norris is falling away from Sainz. Like everyone's now got DRS and he's not making any use of it. Oh, is that Verstappen, Sainz? Oh, Sainz is in the lead. Sainz back in the lead. Good news for Lando. Lando's best friend, Carlos Sainz, comes to the rescue. Thank you for the 6 likes. Fail B, 0-0 if you can for Ocon. Ocon has got problems, mate. Ocon's Alpine is just... And Magnussen in 7th place is being told to lift and coast already. Use the energy, Lance. It must be early. Yes, a bit of Star Wars terminology being used there at Aston Martin for young Lance a lot. Fastest lap, Carlos Sainz 121.3. And now Norris is closing in on Verstappen. Can Norris use the toe and get a move on that Red Bull? This is crucial. Apparently Verstappen has got battery issues. Apparently Hamilton is telling his team to try and keep George Russell behind him. Norris is now in front of Verstappen. Oh my God, what's happened? Oh, and Leclerc's taking both. Goodness me, chaos between Verstappen and Norris. And Leclerc gets past both the championship contenders, of course. Leclerc is still in the championship, but that has worked out terribly for Verstappen and Norris as they push each other off at the S's. And Leclerc, just like prime Kimi Raikkonen and prime Daniel Ricciardo, just sits in behind both of them and waits for the moment to sweep past. Ferrari 1-2, folks. Maranello vai. Grazie, ragazzi, folks. Ferrari back on top, just like the old days. Piastri is having an absolute bomb weekend. Piastri overtakes Zhou for 16th place. Not that it matters much. Piastri now's up to 15th, but he's got to get a move on if he wants to get points, which are going to be crucial for McLaren and the Constructors. Apparently, there's an argument between Max and Norris over whether Lando gave the position back, but Verstappen has got back past the British McLaren driver. Both Ferraris are about to start lap 12. All this squabbling between Max and Lando is allowing Maranello to capitalise on their handbags. Just so you know, I am using my own personal statistic and black screen this weekend because, of course, I tried to film it on WhatsApp, but I phone film another another person's screen and it didn't work because it was all blurred out. Let's go, yes. Both Verstappen and Norris are under investigation, folks. Oh, Perez is up to... on that 13, folks. And Verstappen is kind of holding up Norris, if I'm going to be honest. Oh no, Piastri's gone back down to 16th. What's going on there? Piastri, but Sergio Perez is getting a move on, but Piastri back up to 15th. Deary me, he's making real hard work of the Saubers. Not impressed by Perez, but by Oscar at all. And he's losing time to Colin Pinto in front of him. Like he's almost 1.5 seconds behind the Williams. Like that's so poor. Got to be making more of that McLaren, I'm afraid, young man. Although, of course, Colin Pinto is in a close battle with Alonso in front of him, so maybe that could give Oscar a lifeline. Perez is now only 1.5 seconds behind RB driver Liam Lawson, and I think Liam Lawson will be given a radio call to allow the senior Red Bull to go into the top 10. It will be a matter of when and not if Lawson is told to move over for the senior Red Bull car. Five-second penalty. 10 second. 10-second penalty for Max Verstappen. Oh. That is going to be costly for Max. And let's see, yeah, the two Mercedes, Norris, Magnussen, and Hulkenberg are all very close behind. So, dear God, like, I have to say this, I think Verstappen is going to have to battle quite a bit of traffic when he comes out of his pit stop, because obviously he's going to have a 10-second penalty added to his pit stop, and he's going to have both Mercedes, both Haas's, and most likely Gasly all to get past. Norris has got to capitalise now. This is your chance now, Norris. No more excuses. We are fed up of you making up all sorts of garbage, like, I get nervous at the start, Verstappen's a better driver than me, we still had a good season. Dude, the time is now to really kick Max's arse in. Although, of course, with his time penalty, you do not need to overtake him on a track. Alonso is complaining about a long brake pedal, and look at that. He's 3 seconds behind his teammate Stroll, and of course, Alonso is building up his own little train again. Look at that. Alonso is holding up a lot of cars. I mean, Russell, on the other hand, is also holding up his own teammate and a lot of cars behind him. So, I mean, Norris has actually got quite a bit of clear air between himself and Russell, about almost 4 seconds. And a lot of teams around the grid are telling their drivers to lift and coast, apparently. It does seem as if the altitude is also not only having an effect on the engine power, downforce, but also fuel consumption. These cars are really fighting against the elements today at the high altitudes of Mexico City. And of course, the hot temperatures. Hamilton is complaining about oversteer. Alonso has said that something is blocked to the calling at the front. Alonso will be pitting. I think Alonso's got a problem. Alonso has definitely got a problem with his calling system. Problems for Alonso down in 13th place. Wow, 4 seconds behind Lance Stroll already. Goodness me, he's got a problem. Yeah, and Alonso's heading for the pits. Oh dear, it's not looking good for the double world champion. Big problems there for Fernando Alonso. And he's out. Alonso is out of race. 400 races not out. And a retirement to celebrate that fantastic Alonso's fantastic achievement. The story of Fernando Alonso's career post 2013, everyone. Forced to retire because of calling issues on his 400th race anniversary. Anyway, Leclerc has now set the fastest lap with a 1 minute 21.262. Calling issues, that's why Alonso's out. Those are your 3 retirees at the bottom of the screen. Sainz continues to lead the race very narrowly ahead of his teammate Leclerc. Verstappen is about 4 seconds further back, just ahead of Norris. And then about 11 seconds behind the leading Ferraris is George Russell. Ahead of his teammate Hamilton. God, there's a bit of a Noah's Ark feel going on with the top 8, I've got to say. And then, of course, Lawson is in front of Sergio Perez. And then, of course, Bottas and Zhou up at the back together in 15th to 16th. And Magnussen has got DRS on Hamilton. Look at that. Magnussen is giving Hamilton heated behind. And Hamilton is moaning again, jamming, rear wear is thick. Gasly is closing in on Hulkenberg. But Lawson is also closing in on Pierre. What's going on? Oh, Perez gets Lawson. But Lawson gets back past Perez. Crazy stuff there. Through the S's there for the local hero, Checo Perez. By God, Perez was very ambitious with that overtaking attempt on Lawson, but Lawson, using some street smarts, gets the bear of Perez and gets back in the top 10. And, well, we're getting... Oh, and look at that. Perez's lap time has been deleted for track limits on lap 16, and now we're on lap 19. Look at that, a gap between the back and the what's it, 30 seconds between Bottas and Sainz created within about 12 laps. The two Saubers are lapping 2 seconds slower than Ferrari, and Piastri is losing so much time in this midfield battle. I mean, goodness me, Piastri will be looking to get points today. Stroll overtakes Perez. Costly mistake there by Perez to try and get Lawson. Sergio Perez's head has completely gone. He's got back in front of Stroll, but Verstappen gets under investigation again. Oh my god. Bloody hell. Red Bull having a torrid day today. I mean, and I will say this, Lawson might get a word from the Red Bull headquarters after the race, because I know that was Perez's fault, but I think obviously Red Bull would prefer Lawson to probably actually let Perez through, to be honest. Even though I know Perez is already, 22 seconds behind Max, but I mean, Max is not going to be I mean, unless Norris does something stupid, I think Norris is going to be finishing well ahead of Max. And to be honest, Max could do with a bit of help from his teammate for once, because, I mean, let's be honest, since 2021, Perez has not exactly been that particularly useful. He's not been particularly useful as a number 2 to Max Verstappen, if I'm going to be honest. Not that Max has needed Perez's help that much since the start of 2022, but yeah, this is when I think Red Bull really are paying the price for having a really badly struggling number 2. Checo has got core damage. Yeah, he's falling behind now. Perez is really, oh, he's falling down horribly now. That, my friends, has surely got to be the end of Sergio Perez as a number 2 driver at Red Bull. Surely, what a disaster he's had today and this weekend in general. Apparently, there's rumours that Valtteri Bottas might have a chance of returning to Mercedes if Kimi Antonelli doesn't work out at the team next year. Perez all the way down to the back. A true disaster class by the Mexican 6-time race winner, who has never won a race at his home track, and he's definitely not winning at his home track today. And to be honest, could we be seeing Perez leave Formula 1 at the end of the year as well as leave Red Bull? Oh dear. Look at that. I think Perez is only like a couple of corners away from being lapped by the Ferraris now. He's now 60 seconds behind the 2 leading Ferraris. Sergio flipping Perez, dude. We have got the damage down to 60 points and 5 clicks rearward to Perez's car. Blimey, yeah, Perez is frankly surplus to requirements at Milton Keynes now. Like, he's just going to be coasting to the finish line today. A lap down, most likely, unless, of course, we get a safety car. But even with a safety car, I think the amount of damage done to the floor of the Red Bull is too severe for Perez to be really competitive and get any points. It's game over. Yeah, Piastri up to 12th. Of course, Perez has gone to the hard tyres. Not that it makes any difference. Piastri is now 6 seconds behind Lawson in 10th place. So I think Piastri's recovery drive is actually now coming on quite well. All he has to do is overtake Stroll on the front of the start finish straight when he gets DRS. Now on to lap 24. Kevin Magnussen is driving very well, but of course he might not have a seat in F1 next year. This is probably the best I've seen Magnussen drive since, I don't know, was it Miami? Was it not Miami? No. Austria? I haven't got a clue the last time Magnussen drove this well. Having said that, I mean, Perez has just completed a 1 minute 21.6. So I think Perez is actually doing quite well despite the damage he's got in his car. Apparently, Zhou has something to moan about in terms of the quality of the race. Yeah, mate, you're not getting points today. To be honest, Sauber are not going to get any points in this season in general, so forget about it. Piastri, now 11th, finally getting rid of the Aston Martin of Stroll. The only Aston now that, of course, Alonso retired with cooling issues. Yeah, and now Oscar is within 6 seconds of Liam Lawson's V-carb. Perez remains 16 seconds behind Esteban Ocon. Of course, Esteban Ocon has had a weekend from hell himself, so battle of the two former Force India drivers will be coming up in about 10 or so laps time. But of course, Ocon has got a DRS on Zhou down the home straight. Just so you know, Haas will be getting Toyota technical help next year, but they will still be using Ferrari engines and gearboxes regardless of the technical partnership. And let's be honest, I think Toyota are using the deal as a way of advertising themselves into the world of Formula One without having to spend such an insane amount of money like they did between 2002 and 2009. DRS for Norris going down to turn 4, but of course Verstappen's got the line covered. The field is spread out now, I've got to say. There's not really many close gaps other than the two championship contenders. Perez closed the gaps between himself and Ocon to about less than 14 seconds now. Of course, Ocon is being held up by Zhou Sauber, so that will help Perez out in about 10 laps time. I mean, even though Sauber have got the slowest car on the grid, the Sauber does have a lot of straight line speed, remarkably enough, but Ocon is now being told to increase his lift and coast by an extra 10 meters fuel consumption is a real problem for a lot of these teams at a high altitude. I've said it many times, but I mean, Piastri's race is now Piastri is now being told that he is going to stick with Plan A, and Norris. Okay, yeah, Verstappen is now pitted. I think I missed Russell overtaking Hamilton. Oh, it's 20 seconds. 20 seconds. Oh my, wow. "24-second pit stop there for the triple world champion from the Netherlands." Oh my, that is really costly. Stroll has gone to the pits and now has dropped to the back with Verstappen and the two Red Bulls. That is a lot of time to lose for Max Verstappen, and he is now 55 seconds behind the two leading Ferraris. Look at that. Leclerc, I mean, Sainz has now built a 6.7 gap over Leclerc. Like, even though Sainz is struggling with oversteer, how on earth are Ferrari getting rid of Carlos Sainz? Oh, God, Ferrari annoy me so much, honestly. I mean, as for Verstappen, he is now, what's it, 13 seconds behind Piastri, who's in 10th place. So, I mean, and he's gonna have to try and fight the, what was it, Ocon and the two Saubers, and Ocon has just overtaken Zhou. So yeah. Oh dear, this is gonna be a bit of a battle because, of course, I think some of the cars, the Saubers, Ocon are gonna hold up Verstappen. Thank you for 7 likes, everyone. Up 29. Apologise for not updating the lap counter. 20-second penalty for Verstappen, that is. But Verstappen has got DRS on Zhou, but Zhou's also got DRS from Ocon in front of him. Hamilton's pitted. Gasly's pitted. Leclerc has still got the fastest lap point. Norris has got to take advantage of Max Verstappen's foibles today. If anyone wants to talk in the chat, I've not seen any chat comments appear for the last 10 or 15 minutes. So if I've not read anything out, then I think you're gonna have to blame YouTube, because I was reading quite a few comments out, but now I've not been able to see anything for the past 10 or so minutes. If you want to see if my chat is working, type anything in the chat, and then I'll see if anything appears on my screen in the next 10 or 20 seconds. I think if someone types something in the chat, but I can't see it in the next 20 seconds, then I'm going to presume that my chat is broken for some reason yet again. Who's just pitted? Yeah, Hulkenberg's just pitted, so... Norris has pitted. Lawson up to 5th. Bottas pits. Nice move there by Max Verstappen to get past Bottas, who Bottas is running a very long stint, 32 laps on the hard tyres. Oh, and Sainz is pitting. Sainz is pitted. My God, Sainz is... My God, 31 seconds ahead. Why me? Crikey. What's happened to Leclerc? My God, Sainz has been... Is he really that quick? Blimey, I wasn't even watching the Ferraris, and Piastri and Sainz has just been... Oh, sorry, no, Leclerc pitted, yeah, sorry. But as it stands, I mean, Sainz has now got a 9-second lead on Leclerc. I was gonna say he built up a 31-second gap. I don't even know what was happening. Colin Pinto in front of Max Verstappen by just under 3 seconds. Blimey, and Hamilton has the fastest lap. And Magnussen gets past Ocon. And Norris, I think Lawson, and of course Piastri all fighting each other in a massive Mercedes sandwich. Hamilton has the fastest lap, by the way. Hamilton, that's the fastest lap point, by the way. 34. Almost 9 seconds ahead of his teammate is Carlos Sainz. Norris has got to get third place today. Just banked the 15 points. And of course, as it stands, Max will only lead Norris by 42 points going into Sao Paulo next weekend. So, gotta say, Norris is actually, championship hopes are looking a bit better now. Apologise if I can't read the chat because I've not seen any comments appear on my feed. It's been like 20 minutes since I read any new comments, which is quite annoying. Also drops to 7th in that huge gaggle between himself and the Mercs and Piastri. Pinto has got to fend off Verstappen. He's going to have all sorts of blue in his mirrors. The Mercedes engine in that Williams, though, is dragging Pinto along very nicely. And Hamilton now overtakes Piastri. Piastri has been a beneficiary of some of the drama today between Max and Norris. And of course, Perez having all sorts of issues and now has recovered to 6th place. So, you know, I think Piastri can be pretty pleased with how the last 20-odd laps have transpired for him. We're about to head into lap 36. And, yeah, but having said that, Ferrari stand to get 43 points out this weekend. McLaren are looking to get 23 points. So, I mean, I've got to say, I think Red Bull are probably going to finish third in the constructors' standings now. And I think the constructors' fight is definitely going to go to the wire between McLaren and Ferrari. This is almost like watching Ferrari back in, like, I don't know, back in 2007, 2008, when they used to win races a lot with Kimi and Massa. Lots of 1-2 finishes with those two. Remember those days? Really was a long time ago, wasn't it? And Hamilton's fastest lap is a 1:20.37. Verstappen overtakes the Argentine for P8. And Lawson is surely going to be forced to move over for Verstappen, who, of course, is on damage limitation mode for today's race. And I think, if I'm going to be honest, P7 from the 20-second penalty Max has had is probably going to be the best result he can get. Perez stopped out in 16th place. Stroll, my God, Stroll's race. I mean, Stroll is at the back. I think Stroll has given up. Nothing to fight for Aston Martin with P5 all but sealed, to be honest. Zhou has been told to use pedal 10. And the two horses are climbing up the order again. So, yeah, great job by the horse boys. And of course, Max has got in front of both of them. And Pinto has got Magnussen 3 seconds behind him. So he's going to have his hands full soon when he sees a grey horse coming up in his mirrors. And Bottas is shoved down to 12th place by Hulkenberg. Great move there by Hulkenberg down the start-finish straight. And Zhou is having to fend off Perez for P15. Not every day you get to say that. Zhou fighting Sergio Perez. And Gasly and Ocon. Oh, Gasly's up to 13th. Gotta say, Alpine's race pace has completely fallen away for Gasly. I mean, Gasly, I think if I'm going to be honest, I mean, the second stint is just not going down well for Pierre Gasly. I think Gasly pitted on lap 8. Oh my God. I mean, oh yeah, the two horses pitted quite early on as well during the safety car. So it's worked out well for the two. No, sorry. Gasly pitted 8 laps ago, I beg your pardon. What am I talking about? Wrong thing, I apologise. Got completely distracted. I don't know why I was thinking no one pitted on the safety car. That's stupid from me, my fault. But I have to say, Gasly's pace on the hard tyres is not good. And he is 4 seconds behind Bottas. I mean, Bottas has been pretty good today, but Gasly will be disappointed to be stuck down in 13th, having started all the way up in, was it 9th place? 8th? I mean, somewhere around, oh yeah, I mean, he started alongside Magnussen on the 4th row, and now he's down in 13th. Verstappen overtakes Lawson. Verstappen will now be chasing Piastri for P6, so, and new personal best there for Verstappen, 121.111. Colapinto is going to be fending off the Haas again down the straight, but the Mercedes engine in that Williams is helping him. My God, Gasly, mate, you've got to get a move on. Like, you're 3 seconds behind Bottas. Like, I mean, Ocon will be pleased with this because Ocon's not even pitted yet. And he's actually, and he came out, and was it Gasly came out behind him, so. Apparently, McLaren. Oh, yeah, Piastri's still not pitted yet. Piastri, Lawson, Colapinto still yet to pit. I mean, Piastri's had a great 38 laps still on the medium tyres. Bottas is going to have to pit soon. Ocon and Zhou yet, and two seconds for Piastri's pit stop. Stroll overtakes Perez. Only 4 drivers still yet to pit. Colapinto in 8th place. Bottas in 10th place. Ocon in 12th. And of course, Zhou in 14th. I don't know why Zhou is staying out because let's be honest, Zhou is not going to be getting any positions from where he is. Piastri overtakes Ocon predictably. Verstappen is 40 seconds behind the race leader, so he is about less than 9 seconds behind Hamilton. So, I mean, the next car he's going to try and overtake is going to be far more challenging than anybody's tried to overtake so far. His 2021 championship rival, Sir Lewis Hamilton. My God, when the hell is Colapinto, Bottas, and Ocon and Zhou gonna pit? I mean, what the hell are Ocon and Zhou staying out for? Like, they're getting they're well out of the points. I can understand why Colapinto and Bottas have stayed out, but Ocon and Zhou, really? What sort of pit strategy is that? Like, I know Alpine are trying to split the strategy between Gasly and Ocon, but Ocon's miles out of the points today. Colapinto, obviously, the only Williams in the race. Lawson has gone all the way down. Oh, Lawson's overtaking Perez. I mean, Perez is definitely on his way out of Red Bull now. No chance of him staying on beyond this season or maybe 2025. Zhou has been told to lift off the whole race. I mean, that Sauber is... Let me just say this for Sauber. How the hell can you stake when you have no chips? I can only presume my chat is broken because I've not been able to read any comments out from chat for like the last half an hour. I hope, I mean, if there's no one commenting then, I don't know what's going on. I suppose I'm not entertaining enough if no one's commented in the last 30 minutes. Lando Norris setting a purple sector 2 there. And just over 5 seconds behind Leclerc, who of course has reduced the deficit between himself and Sainz down to 6.7 seconds up front. And oh, look at that! Piastri has now got the same fastest lap as Hamilton. Weirdly enough, I don't know who gets the. I mean, obviously Piastri's out of the point, so I mean the fastest lap is obviously going to Hamilton in terms of the point given. Strange scenario there, but I don't even know what to say. But we've still got another 27 laps remaining. And Checo Perez is about to be lapped now soon. Piastri gets past Bottas. Bottas is, well, still yet to pit, but obviously his tyres are completely finished. Completely bored from staying out for 44 laps. Colapinto down to 9th. And Haas are going to be consolidating 6th place in the Constructors tonight. Very good job for the boys from the US of A. Perez pitting, not that it means anything. Zhou is pitting, not that it means anything either. And of course, thankfully with these two, I do not have to readjust the race order because they're going to be lapped. Yep, they're both lapped out. Can now put Jesus Christ. Zhou Guan Yu is going to finish ahead of Sergio Perez in a Formula 1 Grand Prix for the first time in his career. There is a first for everything, folks. Instead of finishing first at his own Grand Prix, Sergio Perez is on course to finish last at the Mexico City Grand Prix of 2024. And he's put on another set of medium tyres. What a waste of time. And look at that. Piastri, of course, I need to put a purple thing next to his name, which is weird, but I don't know how they're going to do the fastest lap between himself and Hamilton. Would he do half a point each? I mean, that'll be interesting to see, wouldn't it, chat? Oh, now Norris has taken fastest lap, doesn't matter anymore. Fastest lap, he's got 1,000th of a second quicker than Hamilton and teammate Piastri. Of course, 16 points on the board for Norris, 8 points on the board for Verstappen. So, I mean, it's going to go down. I mean, the championship deficit will be down to 49 points, which is nowhere near enough for Norris, to be honest. But to be honest, with the two Ferraris clearly much quicker than him today, he's doing the best he can. Although, of course, makes you wonder, like, if Norris got the job done in qualifying, he could be winning the race. So, swings and roundabouts, I'm afraid. And whilst I do think Leclerc deserved to win last time out at Kota, to be honest, I think with the sort of lap times we've seen McLaren do, I think Norris has thrown away yet another potential race win. And this, my friends, is why Norris deserves to lose the World Championship to Max Verstappen. It's harsh, but I'm being honest. Very honest. "25 laps remaining, everyone." Quite honestly, I've had no comments in the last half an hour. I don't know what's happened to chat. Colapinto is hanging on in 9th place. But he does have Piastri all over his rear wing. So Gasly, Bottas, Lawson has got DRS on Stroll. Piastri is surely going to get past Colapinto soon. Goodness me, the battle between Ferrari and McLaren will be closer to constructors, I'll tell you that. Because, of course, with Perez's issues, Red Bull are definitely well out of this Constructors' Championship fight. Oh, and Piastri still can't overtake Colapinto despite closing up on him in the stadium section. Let's see. We're about to go into the start-finish straight with Colapinto and Piastri. And Piastri's already got past him. Job done. Oh no, Colapinto's pitted. Bad stop there by Williams. 4.4 by the Williams crew for Colapinto. That's shockingly slow, and that has well and truly costed Colapinto any opportunities he's got of getting points, and he is a lap down. That's the third car to be lapped today. Ocon and Bottas still yet to pit. Of course, Bottas's gamble has failed. Gasly now in the points. One minute, 20.22 there by Lando Norris in terms of his fastest lap. He is closing up on the Ferraris, but there's a lot of traffic, and now he's got to really try and capitalize on the traffic holding cars up. That's Colapinto in front of Norris. And of course, eventually, the likes of Lawson, Stroll, Bottas will be going a lap down soon. And I mean, Gasly and Piastri could be going a lap down soon as well. And of course, the Haas will be hanging on to the lead lap. And of course, yeah, for those of you wondering what happened to Fernando Alonso, his cooling failed after just 16 laps. Just updating some of the stats of the drivers out of the race. Ocon now lapped. Franco's lap times are good, but of course, he is driving for Williams, so Lawson, where's Lawson? He's surely he's going to be lapped soon. Of course, he's got. I mean, Sainz has got to negotiate the Stroll Lawson battle. My God, I mean, Colapinto is doing a good job of hanging on to the back of Leclerc's Ferrari. Of course, he went 0.3 of a second faster than Leclerc on the previous lap. And of course, I think Stroll and Leclerc and Lawson will be going a lap down. Franco, fastest lap. Flying B, this is impressive pace here by Franco Colapinto. 120.09 by Argentine Franco Colapinto for Williams. Unbelievable pace, son. Seriously quick on these new medium tyres. He's going almost 3 seconds a lap faster than Bottas, who's also just pitted with mediums, and of course a second faster than Ocon.
Down to 6.5. 6.2.
Colapinto is seriously quick right now. Let's see. Oh, he did a 1:20.5 on the previous lap. Norris is 9 seconds behind Sainz and 4 seconds behind Leclerc. I mean, this is going to be interesting to watch. Like, could Colapinto really cause a bit of havoc for these guys up front? Because he's a lap down, but he's flying. And Lawson now goes a lap down. I mean, could Colapinto unlap himself against Leclerc? And of course, Stroll will go a lap down very soon. Probably about down into the stadium section. He will probably be forced to back off and allow Sainz to overtake. Yeah, yes, he does. Dutifully so. That's 7 cars now lapped on a very, very short racetrack with a very short lap time. And Gasly is now going to be, well, will be lapped eventually soon as well. And now Norris has got within 9 seconds of Carlos Sainz. Cannot still see any comments, so I don't know what's happened. I don't know if anyone's commenting. I will have to try and reply. I mean, please put a comment in the comment section once I end this stream. I think it'll be a better idea because I can't read anything. To be honest, I should have waited a lot longer to start reading comments out. I should have started reading comments out from like the hour mark rather than obviously drawing the safety car at the start of the race because I got so impatient, foolishly. Colapinto is hanging on to the back of Leclerc pretty well, gotta say. Although it has to be said, Ferrari's lap times are not that impressive, I'm going to be honest now. But of course, they are on the hard tyres and they have no incentive to push unless, of course, Norris can find some real serious pace in his tyres. Hamilton's got DRS on Russell. Russell still stays ahead, though. And Piastri is now putting pressure on Hulkenberg. Piastri surely is... Can he get... No, he's not got DRS, surprisingly enough, on Hulkenberg. Would you look at that? Another back marker from outside the top 10 will be getting the fastest lap point. Verstappen remains 11 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. I think Verstappen has more or less settled for P6. And he is 38 seconds behind Lando Norris. Oh, well, not that. I don't think Norris will take out back. I mean, let's face it, with about 4 more race weekends to go, Lando Norris still needs a Max Verstappen DNF if he wants any realistic chance of taking this championship to the wire. But today, I think obviously Verstappen will be bitterly angry at the FIA for giving him a 20-second penalty. Engine 8, position 12 for Max Verstappen. Engine 8, position 12 for Max Verstappen. And apparently, Lawson is being given blue flags, but Leclerc remains stuck behind him. And now Piastri does overtake Nico Hulkenberg coming out of turn 3 at long last. Finally got the job done there by the young Australian. And that will help McLaren out in the constructors' battle. Norris is now just over 2 seconds behind Leclerc, with all the lap cars getting in the way of each other, Leclerc and Sainz. But Norris still remains just under 9 seconds behind Carlos Sainz. So Gasly's going to be lapped soon. Great move there by Piastri. Absolute credit has to be given, despite obviously having a slow start and a poor qualifying session. I think it's safe to say Gasly will be overtaken in the next lap. As of course, Gasly and Sainz will cross the start-finish line to start the next lap. 14 laps to go, everyone. Do not turn your TV screens off wherever you are. And please like and subscribe to Crystal Racing. Norris has got DRS on Colapinto. Lawson, I beg your pardon. 2 seconds behind separates Leclerc and Norris. Come on, Lawson has surely got to let Norris pass. Surely. But of course, Leclerc needs to lap Stroll, and of course, Sainz is now all over the back of Gasly. This lap traffic battle is going to cause a bit of going to be a battle of nerves for some of the drivers in the top 3. Norris finally laps Lawson after about a lap or so being stuck behind him. And look at that. Norris can now take advantage of Leclerc being held up by Lance Stroll, surely. And of course, Norris can get a bit of DRS from Stroll, surely. Coming onto the start-finish straight and really get a tow and really have a run at Charles Leclerc's Ferrari. The gap is now approaching just under 2 seconds between Leclerc and Norris for P2. And Norris getting a tow from Stroll. He's only less than a second and a half behind Leclerc. He needs to get past Stroll. And now we can see whether Norris can gain another 3 points if he can overtake Leclerc for P2. This is a big, crucial battle coming up for the British title contender for McLaren. Of course, both Leclerc and Norris going through the S's at turns 4, 5, and 6. Sainz is actually is struggling to actually get Gasly laps, surprisingly enough. I mean, Gasly is surely going to have to give into the inevitable. And yes, Gasly has been given a full blue flag now. Sainz will put Gasly on a lap down. And of course, Gasly is a full 14 seconds behind Nico Hulkenberg's Haas, so I think he should just focus on getting this point home. Norris is now 1.1 seconds behind Charles Leclerc's bright red Ferrari. The battle is on. Norris needs these points. He needs these points if he wants to have any glimmer of dragging this championship fight as far out as he can. Surprising to think, isn't it, that Norris is actually surviving in this championship fight quite well, contrary to his Verstappen's great qualifying performance, thanks to Verstappen getting a 20-second penalty of all things. Hamilton going around the outside of Russell there, but he stays behind his Mercedes teammate. Batters are getting heated down at Brackley between the silver and fluorescent blue Mercs. Oh, and Norris is now just 1.07 seconds behind Leclerc. He's approaching DRS range. Norris has that minor. I don't know why he was indicated. Leclerc needs to keep pushing if he wants to keep hold of P2 and keep Norris out of DRS range. And now Carlos Sainz is a couple of corners away from starting lap 62. Norris has got Leclerc in touching distance. He needs to have a good exit coming out of the final corner if he wants to get DRS. Yes, he's got DRS. Norris has got DRS on Leclerc. Lap 62, 10 to go. But fastest lap for Norris. But Leclerc remains in P2. And now Norris is 0.7 seconds behind Leclerc. I'm keeping my eyes on the track map. Can he do it? Can he do it? Leclerc, bonus 3 points here. Hamilton's got DRS on Russell again. Heated battle between the two Mercs, but Norris is the battle we're looking at. 1 minute 20.045. Norris. Crucial points if he wants to really keep Verstappen in the championship fight. DRS again for Norris, going down the straight heading towards the baseball stadium. Franco Colapinto is having an excellent race despite dropping down to 13th. And Piastri is moaning about the oversteer coming out turn 3, but of course he's keeping Hulkenberg 7 seconds behind him. Leclerc, Norris has got P2. P2 Norris. Down the straight. Job done for Lando Norris. Down the straight. Easy move there for Norris. Great exit for the British McLaren driver. And Leclerc is down to P3. And my God, sure Leclerc will be kicking himself. What a move there by Norris. Down the straight. And of course, Carlos Sainz is heading for an easy win, but I think a lot of Ferrari's management will be looking at each other with crossed eyebrows because, of course, the driver who's going to be winning the race will be leaving the team at the end of the year. And Norris is now within 8 seconds of Carlos Sainz with 9 laps remaining. I don't think Norris will be able to catch Sainz in time, but who knows? I mean, if Norris can really get a crack on, you never know. And just imagine if we get, like, I don't know, there's no backlog in front of Sainz, so, I mean, I suppose Sainz would need a problem, like, in order to get into a fight with Norris. And it's a 19.858 for Lando Norris, new fastest lap again. But having said that, I think Carlos Sainz's previous lap was a 20.55, so I think Norris needs to actually get a bit more time out of Sainz. And of course, Norris is the one who's going to have to try and lap Gasly soon. And Leclerc has set his sights on trying to snatch the fastest lap of Norris. Whilst Verstappen remains 11 seconds behind the Mercedes and has pretty much checked out of the race. But Leclerc's half a minute ahead of the two Mercedes. My God, Mercedes have fallen off so much in terms of pace this weekend. Horrible dip in form for them. I mean, Verstappen's fastest lap of the race is only a 20.87. That's horribly slow. Almost a second slower than, literally a full second slower than Norris's fastest lap today. And Verstappen is just cruising around, making sure he gets 8 points. Seven laps to go, folks. Sainz is on course for his 4th career win. Norris can reduce the gap between himself and Verstappen from 57 to just 46 points in the championship fight, as of course he's got the purple fastest lap point. But having said that, the gap remains 7.8 seconds between Sainz and Norris, as Sainz has been informed of Norris's overtake on Leclerc, and of course Sainz is managing the gap very well. And I think Leclerc and Norris's tyres have worn off too much now for him to catch Sainz. I think it's pretty safe to say Leclerc's tyres are pretty much bitten to dust as well. But Piastri has set a personal best there of 20.16, so he's 5 seconds behind Magnussen, but I don't think he'll get Magnussen for P7. And I think this race is now going to settle down for the last 6 laps. Purple C7 for Oscar Piastri. Charles Leclerc lost it in turn 17 with a snap of oversteer, and Lando over Norris sprinted past him down the straight. And Piastri went 7 tenths faster than Magnussen's previous lap. So Magnussen is going to watch out. Oh, Colapinto's now up. Franco Colapinto up to P12, everyone. Having a great race. And now he's less than 3 seconds behind Lance Stroll. Having said that, Colapinto is over 10 seconds behind Gasly. So Colapinto, despite not scoring points, can be pretty pleased with his efforts this afternoon here at the Mexico City racetrack. And Zhou has been allowed to push a bit more, but of course he's in last place, having been overtaken by Sergio Perez, who could well be waving goodbye to Formula 1 at the end of this year. And apparently Lawson has said that his front wing has moved. Don't know what's going on there at VCorp. We're counting the laps down now. 5 to go for Sainz. Just so you know, Verstappen was given a 20-second penalty for going off the track in his battle with Lando Norris. Alonso retired with a cooling issue on lap 16. Albon and Tsunoda eliminated each other on the first lap in the first turn 1 collision. Ocon has now gone past Lawson. Oh, Lawson. Is Lawson? What? Lawson's pitted. Yeah, sorry. Lawson got problems. Oh, wait. Lawson's going for the fastest lap. Oh, here we go again, folks. RB exploiting their B team to try and get fastest lap points again. Oh, wow. This is why the FIA is removing the fastest lap point after this season. This sort of stuff is really not good for the sport. RB want to steal that fastest lap point. Very controversial stuff, and I expect Lawson to have a purple dot next to his name very soon. A very questionable personal purple dot. More gamesmanship going on at the Red Bull headquarters, and yes, it's a brand new set of soft tyres for Lawson. 4 to go. Piastri is moaning about the track slippery. And Perez is telling his team to watch the race highlights. Yeah, well, that's probably the last time we'll see race highlights of Sergio Perez around Mexico City, I'm afraid. And Lawson's about to be lapped by Magnussen, but of course he's going for the fastest lap, which is going to be fun to watch. And of course, Lawson's got a bit of breathing space between himself and Verstappen, who's of course a lap ahead of him. Of course, the Lawson incident between Perez and Lawson absolutely destroyed Perez's race. Let's see Lawson's lap time. He's done a personal best in Sector 1, but it doesn't look... Oh, and Norris has gone fastest again with a 19.69. Norris taking note of Lawson's late pit stop there. We're on lap 69 now, 3 to go. Norris responds to Liam Lawson's pit stop, but Lawson sets a purple Sector 2. He's stuck behind Verstappen. I think Verstappen is... Well, what is Verstappen going to do? Is Verstappen going to allow Lawson to steam past him? I think Verstappen will give him a toe down the straight. I think this is going to be interesting to watch. Lawson, purple Sector, fastest. Are you having a laugh? Are you having a bubble, VCOB? Are you having a bubble repeating the same antics as what Ricciardo did at Singapore in his final ever F1 race? Liam Lawson goes fastest with 19.5. Oh man, McLaren are not going to be happy with that. And we saw lap 70 with, of course, Sainz on his way to a probable race win. And Norris responded to 19.9. Norris is going to have to push now. Oh, gamesmanship there, I'm afraid. And that means Verstappen extends his championship lead back to 50 points again. Leclerc has pitted. Got a lot of time. He's also going for the fastest lap, I presume. Of course, Hamilton is, was 30 seconds behind him coming out, going into the pit stop. But of course, the gap between Leclerc and Hamilton is now just 7 seconds. And Perez is going to the pits. Everyone's pitting. Perez is pitting. Perez wants that fastest. This is getting farcical, folks. This is turning into a joke. This is why the fastest lap is getting binned for next season. Don't know why they're ping Perez with all the car damage. Don't know what Perez is thinking of, but I suppose Perez wants to go out on a high, having had a miserable day at the office. Final lap, how could I forget? Distracted by all the nonsense around the track. Norris' last lap was a 19.7. Yeah, Norris's tyres are done. And Leclerc is going to cross the line. What's his lap time? Let's see it. Oh no. Okay, he's going to do his fastest lap attempt now. Sainz covering fight. Yep, he's lap Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg finally goes a lap down on the final lap. So Hulkenberg does not need to lift and coast anymore. Where's Perez? Leclerc's Oh, purple sector 1 for Leclerc. Purple sector 1 for Leclerc on this final lap. He's got a lot of clear air in front of him, having gone past Ocon, who's a lap down. Sainz has won the race. Congratulations, checkered flag to Carlos Sainz. Leclerc, we're keeping our eyes on Leclerc. What's this sector 2? Purple sector 2 for Leclerc. Of course, Norris has finished second, and of course, we're waiting for Leclerc to cross the line. And Leclerc will cross the line in third place. An 18.3. An 18.3 for Charles Leclerc. Fastest lap for Scuderia Ferrari. Of course, that means Lawson will not be taking away anyone's fastest lap point. Hamilton finally crosses the line in P4. P5. Dicey fight there between the two boys tonight here in Mexico. If you want to look at the race results, there we go. Carlos Sainz is your race winner ahead of Lando Norris, who will take 7 points out of Verstappen's championship lead, and the gap between Norris and Verstappen, the gap between Max Verstappen and Norris is now only 50 points for the championship. Norris still needs to take, on average, 13 points out of Verstappen if he wants to win the championship this year. And of course, everyone has now crossed the line. And of course, yeah, Colapinto will be racing at Brazil next weekend, which of course will turn into a quasi-Argentine Grand Prix, since of course Brazil is next door to Argentina is next door to Brazil, so I think the race review, yes, Carlos Sainz deserves an A for his efforts. Great work by Carlos, of course. Lando Norris, P2. I will give him an A- for his efforts, but of course, had he qualified better yesterday, he could have won the race, and he did finish just 4.7 seconds behind the race winner. So once again, another race win down the drain for Lando Norris, who honestly could have had at least 10 race wins this season, and I'm not even exaggerating anymore. Third place, Charles Leclerc, B+, okay effort, but nothing to write home about, if I'm going to be honest, considering Ferrari have really improved their pace recently. Hamilton and Russell, I'll give them a pair of B grades, not much else to say. Verstappen got given a 20-second penalty, so I think I'll give him like a B- and give him the benefit of doubt, because he went off track in an incident with Norris a couple of times, and the stewards looked down upon it very badly. And of course, the cynic in me also believes that they gave 20 seconds to Verstappen for the sake of keeping the championship alive. P7, Kevin Magnussen, A+, and my driver of the day here at Mexico. What a performance. This might be the last time we see Magnussen race at Mexico, and he made it one to remember. Then, of course, we've got Piastri, who gets a C grade for me. Dreadful qualifying, and forced himself into having to fight through the field. Finished the second by Magnussen, but frankly, with the problems that Verstappen had, he should have been there to capitalise. And frankly, had he qualified further higher up, he would have beaten both Mercedes at minimum. 9th place, Hulkenberg. B grade, okay effort, but he was beaten all weekend by Magnussen. 10th place, Gasly, I'll give him a B grade, okay effort considering what he's driving, an Alpine. 11th place, Lance Stroll, it's a B-, struggling Aston Martin, but he actually had an okay race. 12th place, Colapinto, I'll give him a B+ for his efforts. Brilliant pace in the second stint on the medium tyres, but of course he ran out of tyres towards the end. 13th, Ocon, C grade, nothing to write home about. 14th and 15th, Bottas and Zhou, I'll give them a pair of C+ for doing the best they can in that Sauber. Absolute piece of garbage. 16th place, Lawson. I don't know, probably give him a C grade for clashing wheels with Perez. Perez, reject of the day, fraud detection zone winner of the season, possibly, I don't know. I'll give him a D grade for such a dreadful all-round performance all weekend long. And he did complete his own personal best of a 1:19.2, but that was 8 attempts. That was almost 9 attempts to Leclerc's fastest lap attempt. Retirees Alonso, Albon and Tsunoda, I can't grade them because they didn't do much of the race, and unfortunately, I think it's safe to say, unfortunately, I can't grade them, so I can't read the comments, I'm afraid. I don't know if there's any comments. It's just not turning up on my screen for some reason, because for some reason, after half an hour, my comments totally died out on me, which is so annoying. I hope you have had a great day. I mean, 23 people watching. I think this is I'm very pleased with the number of people watching, but just hang on a minute. Thank you for 8 likes. Sorry, can I just have your phone for like 10 minutes?
Okay.
Sorry, I just want to read a comment. Sorry. No. Cheers, Dad. All right. No. Just leave me alone, please. Just sorry. Cheers. Okay, I've got the comments out here. Hiya, Roxford, I hope you're doing well. The lap back markers on fast rubber, the top 4 livened it up. Rest in peace, Red Bull constructors. Sorry about that, Shaka. Norris bought a winning qualifying. Yes, once again. Same story again. Oh my god, the fastest lap battle was mental. I'm just reading all the comments. I know RB tried to do their fastest lap trick again, which is why the FIA have removed a point for the fastest lap for this season. Colapinto passes Lawson. They must have scored a bit. Colapinto was so good today. I'm sorry for like the past 60 minutes. I've not been able to read the comments for like well over an hour now, because for some reason my comments just disappeared on me, and I'm having to read the comments off another phone, someone's phones. I am not jumping into the Norris Championship until race after race. I'm sorry about that, John, but I didn't notice the window Leclerc had. Yeah, Leclerc had a 30-second window on the Mercedes. The Mercedes are just so slow today. Red Bull are finally down to 3rd place. And yes, that is where Red Bull did belong, to be honest, because I know Perez has been terrible this season, but glorious like Macklemore's Skyler Grey. Okay. Thank you for reminding us of your knowledge of pop and rap music once again, Say, but I mean, to be frankly honest, I think it's safe to say Red Bull have only had the third best car on average just about throughout the whole season. But thanks to the magic of Max Verstappen, he's going to win the Drivers' Championship for possibly the fourth year running. Get your comments in if you want to say anything else. Brilliant way to end a mad weekend. Yes, I mean, 50 points is still the gap between Verstappen and Norris, but realistically, Norris is looking at Max Verstappen DNF, and I mean, frankly, Norris has got to start winning races as well if he really wants to win the championship somehow and some way. But to only have 3 race wins after how many races it now been? 20 races is really disappointing in a car that, I mean, frankly, Norris should have had at least maybe 9 or 10 wins by now. And that's not an exaggeration, by the way, folks. I am being very realistic when I say that. Keep getting your comments in, folks. I apologise if this is not the live race stream that you're looking for, but let's face it, Carlos Sainz will be going to Mercedes Williams next season. I don't know why I can't speak to save my life, but he can be very pleased with his efforts. And, you know, I bet you some people at the McLaren HQ and their Bahraini investors are probably looking at Carlos Sainz thinking, why did we let Carlos Sainz leave the team so easily? Because for me, Carlos Sainz could easily be fighting for the championship in their McLaren. I am so sure on that. And for me, one of Piastri or Norris needs to leave McLaren next season, and so that McLaren can have a proper team leader at the team, someone who can do setup properly, someone who can give technical feedback, lead the team on tactics, strategy, racecraft, you name it. I did say I'd like to see Ferrari get 2 wins before the year's end. Well, yeah, I mean, it's now 3 wins for Leclerc and 2 wins for Sainz. So, yeah, Ferrari are ending the season extremely well. Although, it has to be said, where was this form for Ferrari throughout this season? Yeah, I mean, ultimately, well, it's going to be said, Mercedes really slow, and I think that fully justifies Hamilton's decision to switch to Ferrari for next season. But I think if he can take advantage of Leclerc's Leclerc did have a slip up today. For argument's sake, how many years did it take Max? Max took 7 years to win a world championship. But of course, I think we have to realise Max was only 24 years old when he won the championship. And of course, he was only 17 years old when he first began in Formula One. So, I mean, Leclerc, Norris, on the other hand, he's in his 6th year of Formula One, and he made his Grand Prix debut when he was 19 years old. So, and he's gonna be 25 years old. So I do feel like the thing with Max Verstappen is that he was clearly good enough to be like fighting amongst the top runners after like 2018, 2019-ish. So, yeah, I think the thing with Norris, though, is that there's still quite a bit of a deficit between Norris and the true elite drivers of the grid after like 6 years of Formula One, which is not really acceptable, to be honest. And I can't help but think that next year, if Norris can't get the job done and Piastri starts to become more consistent, then I think Zach Brown, Randy Singh, and the Bahraini investors are going to start having second thoughts about Lando Norris. Leclerc did well, yeah, but I have to say, though, it doesn't really look that good for Ferrari's bottom line to have their golden child getting beaten by Carlos Sainz like this, with, of course, Carlos Sainz going to Williams next season. Of course, it could well be a case of Carlos having a great day at the wheel, but if I'm Ferrari, I would be feeling very disappointed. I mean, I know it took Max a long time to win a World Championship, but of course 2021 was the first year he actually had a proper championship contending car, if I'm going to be truly honest. So, you know, swings and roundabouts. But of course, I mean, Max Verstappen was really like outpacing Ricciardo towards the end of 2018. And I do get the feeling, had Verstappen had a fast car in 2019 and a bit of luck on his side, he could have would have been a world champion at the age of just 22 years old, maybe. As for, I mean, I'd love to see Leclerc get a proper championship contending car because I think he's a better driver than Norris, despite getting beaten in both qualifying and a race today by Sainz. But I think today might be a case of Carlos Sainz just driving very exceptionally well for once. So, yeah, I mean, but the thing is, a lot of the young talents in the field I've seen, like Kimi Raikkonen, finished 2 points behind Michael Schumacher in 2003 in what was only his third year of Formula One at the age of 23 years old, having only taken one race win in the season. And had it not been for the Nürburgring engine failure, I mean, Kimi Raikkonen could have easily been a world champion after just 3 years. Hamilton, yeah, I know the opposition he was up against in 2008 was questionable with Alonso off to Renault, and of course all he had to do was fight Massa and Kimi and Kubica, but okay, I know this was a bit of an exceptional case 2008 because of course no one drove that consistently well that year, but Hamilton did it in 2 years. Villeneuve did it in 2 years in 97. Vettel took only 3.5 years in 2010 when he was 23 years old. Of course, Marco is throwing a grenade in it, so it looks like Webber will be speaking to Red Bull. Oh yeah, I've heard the Piastri to Red Bull rumors, which is going to be weird to see. I don't know whether Webber will be actually seriously talking to Red Bull, to be honest. I think this just sounds more like an attempt so that Piastri can get more money out of McLaren and maybe try and like help Piastri get more favoritism pulled towards him at McLaren so that he doesn't get destroyed by Norris. I mean, because let's face it, if Piastri is not careful, he could well become a number 2 driver at McLaren. Good result for Haas. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. Great result for Haas. I mean, that's another 6 points for them in the constructors. And I think, frankly, that should be P6 sealed for them unless VCAR can produce a miracle in the last 4 races. I mean, let's face it. I mean, in 2 years' time, I have no idea what Red Bull's driver lineup will look like. But Verstappen could go to Mercedes, Aston Martin. Sergio Perez looks like he's just going to be completely out of Red Bull. And frankly, I don't even know where Perez will even be a Formula One driver in 2 years' time. So, you know, we've got the likes of Lawson and maybe Piastri available to drive a Red Bull. Carlos Sainz is in the pipeline. Surely. Hamilton actually overtook Russell in the last 2 laps, surprisingly enough. I know we all missed it because of all the fastest lap drama, hence why the FIA has Connor Pinto has been given a 10-second penalty. Okay, thank you, Ruxford. Thank you for the update. Cheers for that. Shame about that. I think, nonetheless, Colin Pinto drove very well in the race. But yeah, I'm going to have it, Colin Pinto's name down in P14. 30 people watching. This has got to be an all-time best I've ever had for a live stream. I think I've never had this many people watch me. I think not having Chazza HT doing a stream has helped a lot today. Although I know someone complained in the comments saying I didn't want to see this, I wanted to see a live race stream, but well, I'm not illegally allowed to show illegal footage from the race. I mean, don't get me wrong, I actually did enjoy the fastest lap battle, but the fact that Red Bull can exploit using RB to take a fastest lap point from their opponents is the reason why the fastest lap will be removed for 2025, because it's obviously conflict of interest at play here. I know Will F1 said somewhere on someone else's video that in Formula E, they will always give the fastest lap point to someone in the top 10. Like, regardless of whether anyone outside of the top 10 sets the fastest lap. So obviously, what Ricciardo did in Singapore would have not counted at all. And of course, I think Norris would have kept hold of his fastest lap, I think. And, well, in the end, of course, Leclerc got the fastest lap, so it doesn't even matter in the context of today's race. Because, of course, Ferrari are fighting for the Constructors' Championship against McLaren. So, thankfully, of course, having a second team for Red Bull did not come to fruition for them. But nonetheless, what Ricciardo did in Singapore has caused a massive rule change in his finals in what we can call Ricciardo's last stand in Formula 1, a bit like Costa's last stand, but it's going to be under appeal, yeah, but dude, Williams are not going to get any points out of it, so I don't even know why they're going to bother, unless there's like a huge load of disqualifications everywhere. Obviously, 31 people watching. Thank you so much. Of course, this is going to be one of my most watched streams, along with what I had today at lunchtime, where I just started eating food, like food YouTube. Yeah, that's what I said. Formula E gives out the fastest lap point to only the top 10. Like, anyone outside the top 10 does not get awarded fastest lap, I think. Sainz has now got 4 wins and 25 career podiums. You're absolutely right, and I think this is the reason why I find it. I actually do believe that Carlos Sainz leaving McLaren at the end of 2020 was a career mistake, because look at how fast their car is now, and I think Carlos Sainz would definitely be doing a much more solid job of fighting for the championship compared to Lando Norris. His leadership, his technical feedback, his ability to think about pit strategy is so good, and McLaren are clearly missing his analytical mind and his ability to think on his feet and react to race situations so well. Okay, I know he's not necessarily the fastest driver consistently in qualifying, but I think all his other strengths outweigh his weaknesses so much. I know Carlos has not really had a record of being quick in wet races, but of course, with the number of safety cars we get in wet races these days, it barely even matters anymore. I mean, we've not been able to see we've not even, Max Verstappen has actually not had many chances to win races in the wet, because most of them will get cancelled or ran under a safety car or whatever nonsense, ever since, of course, the tragic death of George Bianchi. Sorry. Oh, sorry. Captain, sorry. Mom's on the phone, sorry. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, Max, we've not actually had many wet races in the past decade I can remember off, apart from the 2019 German Grand Prix. It rained for a couple of laps the year before at Germany, which caused Vettel to crash out. Of course, we had a wet race at Spa in 2021 cancelled. Well, okay, it was ran for 1 lap, but it was basically cancelled.
I can use the tablet.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Big cars, big tyres, and big sprayers killed wet racing. Yeah, I think obviously the ground effects and the increased size of the cars has really destroyed the spray, like the raceability of these F1 cars in a way. Can't believe no one did a massive how much water would be thrown up. Yeah, but the thing is, the reason why we've got much bigger cars is because obviously the turbo hybrid power units weigh a ton. So obviously to compensate for it, they've had to enlarge the wings and the tyres to offset the 800 kilogram body car weight. But of course, obviously, because they're much bigger, they have a much bigger width and throw up way more water and spray, much longer car lengths. It just what a shame, but it's not like it rains that much in F1 anymore anyway, in most of the tracks we go to, like Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar. I mean, if anything, the heat and humidity of the races are now much bigger issue in modern F1, with, of course, half the field on the verge of collapsing at last year's Qatar Grand Prix. But of course, we're having the Qatar race done in was it late November this year instead, so there surely won't be anyone fainting this year. On Motorsport Manager, yeah, but that's a video game. What a shame. What a shame. I don't know what's going to be happening with the whole Colapinto situation, but I'm going to presume he's down to 14th place. Alonso out of the race with cooling issues. That's a huge problem with Aston Martin. Like, not only is their car slow, but the packaging isn't like good enough to keep the car cool, which is not that Alonso or Stroll was going to get any points, to be honest. So, of course, with the kerfuffle going on later on. I mean, maybe Alonso could have got a point, but Haas deserved the 6 points he got today. I mean, let's face it, I think Gasly just timed his found his way through the pack very well later on. I got that final point. Great job by Gasly. I think. Did I say I gave him an A plus or no? Well, I gave him an A grade anyway, surely. I mean, he's been very good today. Getting a point in that dreadful Alpine. I think I've lost count. I mean, I think Alpine have dropped to 9th place of the constructors behind Williams, who, of course, Colin Pinto has gifted Williams so many points. Of course, RB are probably going to finish 7th with, I think, Pipeline also being unable to make a full tyre. Oh, Pirelli being unable to make a full wet tyre doesn't help. I don't know. I mean, it's Pirelli who are struggling to make a wet tyre more than anything, because, of course, they've been the only tyre manufacturer F1 has had since 2011 now. Don't know what's going on at the Italian tyre company. I know autocorrect can be an absolute bitch at times, but yeah, I mean, Carlos side's great race. I mean, 50 points in between Verstappen and Norris for the championship, but I think Verstappen is surely pretty much in pole position to win the championship and make it 4 in a row. Great effort by him. Of course, it also means he becomes only the 4th driver in F1 history to probably become a 4-time champion in the sport. I think just like Fangio, Schumacher, and Vettel, he will also make it 4 in a row and win 4 champ. I think obviously he'll also become. I'm trying to think. No, I forgot. Was it Fangio, Schumacher, Vettel, and Hamilton? I beg your pardon. I make it 4 in a row. Obviously, he'll become the 5th driver to make it 4 championships in a row. And he will also become only the 6th driver after Alan Prost to make it 4 World Championships wins as well, since, of course, Alan Prost, well, he never managed to win 4 in a row, but he did win it in 85, 86, 89, and 1993. Aston Martin, yes, I see what you did there. Aston Martin, they have been absolutely pants recently, haven't they? They couldn't, I mean, Adrian knew he could not arrive at the team soon enough, folks. He just could not arrive soon enough. And if you want to ask me any more questions, you can do so. But I mean, if you don't have anything to ask, then I'm going to have to end the stream soon. 20 people watching, but yeah, this is the race result. For those of you wondering, if you missed the race, Carlos Sainz won the race from pole position. Max Verstappen was given a huge 20-second penalty, very controversial. I think the FIA deliberately went out of their way to try and keep this championship fight alive, to be honest. It just seems a bit over the top. I don't know why. Where the hell did 20 seconds come from? I mean, it does seem as if they're desperate to keep this championship alive between Lando and Max, since, of course, Lando did an okay race, but honestly, had he got pole position, then I think he would have won the race. So it is very much swings and roundabouts for Lando Norris, who is now only got 3 career wins to his name, surprisingly enough, was Carlos Sainz made it 4 career wins today, which is, I think, a testament to Carlos Sainz's consistency and solidity as a driver, but also testament to Norris's lack of consistency and tendency to break under pressure. Hello there, Silverback. I hope you're doing well this evening. I hope you enjoyed the race if you saw it. I hope your dad is well after his accident last weekend. Well, of course, I know you missed the race. Of course, I only just read the comments from last week's race where you were forced to take your dad to hospital. Yeah, but dude, we all know. I think Max Verstappen, yeah, we all know what he's like. But even so, I think 20 seconds is just a bit silly. And it dropped me to have to fight back through the field, which he did quite well. But of course, once he got to 6th place, I think he just decided he didn't want to put his engine under any more strain than necessary. Yeah, I know you've got problems in your family at the moment, so I don't mind. What was I doing this week and the other week? Yeah, I was funnily enough, I was actually listening to Hawthorne Heights out of absolute boredom, but hey, I was also listening to Iron Maiden and Cradle of Filth and Carcass, so there's that. But of course, Lando Norris reduces the championship gap to 50 points. He needs at least 13 points on average in the last 4 race weekends if he wants to try and have any sliver of a hope of stopping Max Verstappen from making it 4 championship wins in a row. Ferrari got 41 points out of this weekend. Boyles McLaren got 22 points, so the championship fight has now seen Ferrari jump up to P2 in the Constructors' Battle, and now McLaren have got to find their hands to try and win this Constructors' Championship. And Piastri, P17 start, really costed it. P17, 18, I don't know, but having to starting so low, and his poor start meant that he really costed his team a lot of points today. And I have to say this, I think either one of Norris or Piastri could be leaving the team if McLaren can strike up a deal with Carlos Sainz to return to the team for 2026 once his stint at Williams is done, since, of course, Carlos Sainz, I think, is reportedly only on a 1-year deal at Williams. I know there's rumours that Carlos Sainz has got an eye on the seat at Red Bull, Mercedes for 2026, depending on what goes on with Kimi Antonelli and, of course, Perez and Verstappen. But, I mean, but McLaren really do look like they missed Carlos Sainz now, since, of course, you have to remember the Daniel Ricciardo thing went horribly wrong. Oscar Piastri is still basically a rookie, and, of course, Lando Norris does not look like a team leader at all. Hope you're doing well. Crystal, of course, I will be doing a live stream again next weekend for Brazil qualifying and a race. I hope you'll be joining me there. Glad to have you around, Silverback. Of course, I've not seen you much for quite a while on this channel because of all your personal issues. I hope your dad is recovering well in hospital after that accident I heard he had. Of course, we had to turn the clocks back an hour last night, so of course it's now quite late now here in the UK, and of course I know it's actually now late in the evening in America too. So yeah, of course, Sergio Perez tried to do a fastest lap after colliding with Liam Lawson all the way through the race, and I think it's safe to say Perez has not got that many races left in his F1 career now, and let's be real here, folks. The only reason why Daniel Ricciardo was taken out of that Red Bull seat, that RB seat, I beg your pardon, was primarily due to the poor performances of Perez and the fact that Red Bull need to find a replacement for Perez soon. And of course, whilst Lawson scored points in his comeback race at Cota last weekend, I think today he looked a bit more scruffy, I will say. But to be honest, I think Red Bull, despite the fact that Perez brings a huge amount of money from Mexico, I think Red Bull know that they need to get a serious second driver in a hot seat now. It is really time for Red Bull to sort their number 2 driver problem out once and for all, because it's been going on since Ricciardo left in 2018. If you have any more comments to say in the next 10 minutes or so, please go away. Please shoot away, but if not, I will end the stream. Oh dear. I hope, I don't know what to say. I mean, good luck. Checo did reasonably well, to be honest. Don't know what to say about that. I mean, I don't know what to say, Silverback. I mean, that's really sad to hear. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, you came on the stream last weekend saying that you had to take your dad to hospital, and now you're moving halfway across to America to find a job. I mean, as for Bottas, I think Bottas had a good race in 12th place, but I mean, we still don't know who's going to take that second seat at Sauber for next season, so I don't know when he's done enough to save his job there. Gasly did a good job getting P10 in that awful Alpine. Great day for Haas. I think they're going to finish 6th for the constructors. Pinto apparently got given a penalty after the race. Albon and Tsunoda, I've not seen the incident between the pair of them, but I think it's a racing incident, and Albon has found his level at Williams now, so there's not much to say there. Tsunoda has got no pathway to the second seat at Red Bull, so I don't know what will happen to Tsunoda after this year or next year. And to be honest, it feels like he's just now a seat holder at RB until they find someone else. And with Aston Martin stuck with Lance Stroll, despite their Honda deal for 26, I don't think Tsunoda will get a pathway to that seat either at Aston Martin, despite his Honda ties. So I hope it gets better for you soon, Silverback. That's all I'm going to say. McLaren 566. Oh, McLaren are only 29 points ahead of the Ferrari. Oh my god, it's getting close now. Closest constructors fight we've had for probably 16 odd years since, of course, the days of McLaren, Ferrari, and BMW Sauber. I know, obviously, apparently, Mercedes, Mercedes and Red Bull took their constructors fight 3 years ago to the final race at Abu Dhabi, which, of course, was overshadowed by the Verstappen versus Hamilton fight that year. But yeah, Ferrari, I think, are now potentially favourites to win this Constructors' Championship unless McLaren can get their act together. But as for Red Bull, I think it's safe to say third place is more or less what they deserve. But thankfully for them, I think on the basis of the year he's had, Max Verstappen deserves to be a four-time world champion because he's just been so consistent despite not having won a race since Canada now. Or was it? No, Canada, yeah. I mean, that's the last time Verstappen won a race, and I think he's been stuck on about 6 race wins for the season. But frankly, because obviously Lando Norris has not been able to capitalise on his struggles, I think Lando needs to take 13 points out of Max's lead in every weekend before the year ends. Thank you for updating me on the championship there, say Regara. Much appreciated. I mean, if anyone wants to put down any predictions they've got for 2025, shoot away because, I mean, I hope Leclerc and Ferrari have a cause to fight for the championship next year. That's what I'm hoping. Don't know. McLaren, I think, should still be in a championship fight if they can keep their pace up. But of course, I think there are concerns over whether their drivers are good enough. But to actually fight for a championship on their own individual merits is still a question. Yeah, I know, say, but I think during the Red Bull era of 2010 to 2013, they clearly had the fastest car on the grid. 2018, I think Mercedes did enough to win the Constructors' title thanks to the fact they had a more reliable car on the grid and a better strategic team for Hamilton and Bottas. 2009, I think Brawn just about did enough throughout the year, but they were heavily like third or fourth fastest car by like the last 5 or 6 races of the year. I think in the second half of the year, they only had the third fastest car, but the likes of Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren just kept taking points off each other all the time. So in the end, I mean, Brawn became the only team in F1 history to make it 100% win record in the Constructors' Championship in their history for both drivers and constructors. What a history Brawn had in their time, in their short history of F1. Although, of course, it has to be said, Honda did throw a lot of money at that Brawn BGP 001 car in the previous year of development in 2008 when it became clear that the 2008 Honda was another piece of junk, so it just gave up on it very quickly. Wait, Verstappen wait, hang on a minute. Oh no, what was I thinking of? I keep saying, oh yeah, Norris did get 47 points. Sorry, I keep getting muddled up in my head. So it's 362 for Verstappen, 350 for Norris. Leclerc still stays in the championship, but 71 points behind with only about 104 points remaining. I've lost count whether there's going to be any sprint races, but I mean, there's still a narrow chance that Leclerc could win the championship, but yeah, no, not really. Piastri's in 4th place, just ahead of Sainz, so yeah, I mean, 2 sprints left. Yeah, I forgot. Thank you, Roxford. It's going to be 120 points remaining in the championship, so Piastri still could actually... Piastri's still in a championship fight, surprisingly enough, because it's 120 points. I mean, Sainz is now out of contention anyway, despite winning today. But realistically, it's got to be between Verstappen and Norris. Although, of course, I think if Leclerc wants a chance of winning the championship, he's probably going to need at least 2 Max Verstappen DNFs coming up soon. And Leclerc would have to be absolutely perfect if he really wants to win the championship, and hope other drivers take points off Max in the meantime. So, yeah, I mean, I think the only thing stable about Red Bull right now is obviously Max Verstappen, who, despite his reputation for being temperamental, aggressive, and somewhat erratic in his own behaviour, remarkably enough, with the likes of Christian Horner coming under investigation for false allegations, not false allegations, no, allegations of misconduct towards an employee, Adrian Newey leaving the team early to go to Aston Martin, Jonathan Wheatley heading to Audi Sauber, Will Courtney joining McLaren soon. Max Verstappen has remained the only constant variable at the team, and he's done a remarkable job of maintaining his advantage in the Drivers' Championship. Brazil and Qatar have got sprint races left. Oh yeah, next weekend is going to be a sprint weekend, so that's going to be interesting to see how I'll do it. You know what? I think I'm going to have to go and watch the race highlights, if they've got any highlights up yet. They're still doing their post-race show, but I don't know why they're doing that, because so, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, Norris is definitely, well, I suppose if Norris produces a miracle in the last 4 race weekends, I think the narrative will change about Norris, but frankly, with the way he's driving, with the mistakes constantly creeping in here, there, and everywhere, I mean, it's kind of, yeah, obviously McLaren have improved their performances in comparison to what they've been doing for the past 10 years, but it seems as if like they've forgotten how to win races consistently, and it's kind of crept into Lando Norris's mindset of just being an underdog for so long, and now that he's had the opportunities of finally challenging, he doesn't know what to do as an actual championship contender, and the strategists and the team don't know what to do themselves, and Zach Brown is just sort of completely flat-footed in what to do, Randy Singh included. Hope everyone, I don't know what else to say really. I mean, Leclerc, Ferrari have had having great performances recently. Italy win, Cota win for Sainz at Mexico. Great turn of form recently for the Ferrari team. To be honest, I don't know what else to say. So I think thank you very much for watching here at Crystal Racing, and I'll see you again next time.